Good afternoon, everyone. Just another little video for the uninformed about a couple of questions I've had thrown at me in relation to the arms out of Team Power's RACEOPT, which is the option to actually cement the front end, so you don't have that possibility of the knuckles themselves going backwards on a hit. It is actually good and it does work, but out of the box, some guys that have actually purchased the actual kit itself, which is supplied complete, have had issues with basically the arms when fitted not allowing movement up and down. They've tended to want to bind very harshly, just going up a little bit in relation to the movement. This is because, and try to explain it to a few guys, because of the way it's actually set up in the car. Mine, if you have a look at that, the arms are basically equal points now. I've played around with it a bit to find out where the best point is in relation to setting these up. They're now running parallel, which are long arms. That's how they're going to stay. They're not going to change at all from what it is. But what has had to be done to make sure that they do work is, if you can see the arms there, the top rear and the front lower are now literally parallel to each other. They cannot be higher or lower than each other. It just will not work. That's when the binding actually happens. So all I've done on this is basically added two little items, which does actually help the arms set equally. Oh, actually I just noticed that I do have to reset one of the connectors. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What happens is I've got a 4mm spacer. If you can see that, a 4mm spacer there, which is a carbon brace between the two pickup points at the back of the actual bulkheads, and then I've got I think it's a 6mm, how would you call it, spacer underneath the actual hollow ball for a screw to go through. The screw is just literally a button head, 20mm long, that goes all the way through to the bottom of the actual bulkhead, the last screw on the bulkhead point itself, which then allows you to be able to actually mount it. So that is now parallel with that particular arm there. All right, so that now works because there's no binding going up or going down. Whereas previously, if this was actually lower down compared to what this particular tie rod sits, you'll find that as soon as you start pushing it up, it starts binding, because it will tend to want to push backwards against that. Because they're now parallel and set correctly, no issues, working quite nicely. So play around with it a bit. I have the spacers and the carbon brace for the front, which actually also helps the bulkhead itself not want to actually be bent if you have a hard hit. Very easy to set up. Take this off, you do your front tie rod first. So you've got your inclination at, 1/2 or 2 degrees, or whatever it may be. Then when you put this one down, you actually will find that it'll be hard when you actually try and set it. When you try and actually move it, all you do is literally turn that in and out, the turnbuckle, until you've got it free, and that's it. Measure the distance between the two, apply it over to this side, you're done, job's finished. But that's now fixed and now working because both arms sit parallel to each other on the top. If anyone's got questions, I can do closer pics as well and send this through to the YouTube and the Team Powers page, so you get an idea. But at the moment, as it sits, nice and free, no issues with binding at all. It does as it's meant to do, and it is the original item out of RACEOPT Team Powers for the T3M V2 and the V2C conversion. All right, this can actually be applied to also the R3 series as well, if you wanted to. It's up to you, because it actually suits also the chassis, the R3 chassis with the carbon shock tower. It is good because it does stop that from reefing backwards under a hard hit, which unfortunately is a problem with single pivot knuckles, so you've got to take that into consideration. But as presented and run down at Cirque, and here's Cirque for us, Geelong, and wants to tie us up at Templestowe, perfect, no problem. Car runs like a dream. Corners really nice, aggressively but smooth, and has no how would you call it, impact on the steering and the handling of the car in any big way, shape or form. But you can obviously play around with it a bit to set it up or down. It is up to you what you want to do, but it does work. But both arms have to sit parallel to each other, so you set it up accordingly and job's fixed, and it works without any binding. Thanks for your time, it's greatly appreciated. But if you've got a question, patch it through, I'll answer it, and I'll give you the details of the brace which I have as a part in stock, and also what height the actual alloy spacer is. Alright guys, have a good night, take it easy. Committee meeting tonight for me, so talk to you later. Have fun.